So here we are at the end of day one, and what a fantastic day it's been. We've gone through your marketing. We're going through your marketing story at the moment. We've been through your mindset. We've been through how to broadcast yourself. And now we come to our last session where we got a fabulous Q&A with three people who really know how your marketing should work. So I'm going to introduce them to you very shortly, one at a time. I'm going to ask you, we've got some questions hopefully coming in. If not, I'm just going to cry at you. So, but I'm going to introduce you, give you a chance to introduce yourself, and we're going to spotlight you on the screen. So Jody is already spotlighted. So I'm going to spotlight, actually, I'm just going to spotlight me. So I know I've done that. And then I'm going to spotlight Jody. So hello, Jody.
Hello, Wayne. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you, my lovely. So all I need you to do is in about a minute, perhaps you could just tell us who you are, what you do, and how, and your marketing side, what you do for your marketing.
So I'm Jody, and I run Chili Promotional Products, which I set up over 13 years ago, helping businesses throughout the UK find awesome promotional merchandise, branded gifts, anything really with their logos on it. My background is from before then all in marketing, so I was always a buyer of marketing, so I kind of completely understand where my customers are, and then I flipped to providing it. So yeah, that's me.
Amazing, thank you very much. Just so he goes in the middle, I'm going to go to the fantastic Magic Mac next. So by the time we get this sorted, hi Mac. So perhaps if you just in about a minute, let us know who you are, what you do, and your marketing background. Great, thank you.
Thank you very much. My name's Magic Mac from Magic Mac Media. My actual name, my full court name is Mak Mulenga, and I'm a copywriter who give people sexy and magical words. Yes. Because I believe words should be sexy, and that means you get more sales. So if you want some sexy words, have a word with Magic Mac.
There we go. There were plenty of sexy words in your marketing. Mac's the man. And last but by no means least, we're really happy and privileged to be joined by the lovely Vicki Head, all the way from Coventry. Woo!
Coventry today.
Big up Coventry. So Vicki, as the others, let us know who you are, what your company is, and your marketing stuff, please. That'd be great.
So I'm Vicki from Vicki Head Photography. I'm a commercial and branding photographer, and so what I do is I give people assets that they can use all over their website, their social media, for marketing products that they're having made or printed out, and so it gives them a chance to showcase who they are and what their products and services are. And behind all of that is the real clever storytelling bit. So I've got a first-class honours degree in commercial photography, which means I know all about subliminal messages and semiotics and all the things that people are going to pick up from the visuals and the messages they'll read in less than a second.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. We've got a few questions coming through already, so we'll start on those. So I'm going to throw the first one up I think all of you, really, because I think that really applies to a lot of you. So it was originally asked for Vicki. So what would your advice be to people who don't get professional shots done because they don't like how they look? But I think, just before you answer, I think the other two can have a think about that, because often, especially about probably with copywriting as well, Matt, they think they can do it themselves, whereas actually you can put that sexiness in. So have a think about that. But we'll go to Vicki first, because it was aimed at Vicki. We'll see what she says.
Well, I would say that most people don't really like having their photograph taken, myself included. It makes us feel vulnerable. We forget how to smile. We don't know what to do with our arms. And so because we feel a bit uncomfortable, we tend to avoid it. And we either avoid it because we don't want to extend that experience. The reality is, if you try and make it over and done with as fast as possible, and think, well, I've got a photograph taken of me at a wedding 3 years ago, and it doesn't matter that I'm wearing a hat, surely. Actually, the messages that are going to come across are going to be all wrong, potentially for your business and your brand. A good professional photographer has the soft skills to actually make you feel relaxed. They will also help you pose in a way that doesn't look posed. So you look natural and relaxed, even if you're not completely feeling it inside. And they will understand that it's not just about you in the images, it's messages that are coming from all sorts of other things as well. So just because your next door neighbour's got a good camera and they like taking pictures of motorbikes, they may not be the best person to take your portrait.
I mean, do you also find that because everyone's got a phone that's got like a high-end camera, they all think they can, like, they're the latest David Bailey, showing
Absolutely.
me age?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, no, absolutely. I think, and it's great. Camera phones are brilliant. I use mine all the time. I've won awards from pictures I've taken on my phone. You can do a lot with them, but it's not just about pressing a shutter. It's not just about, have you got a picture that was, and the speed it was taken. It's actually in terms of promoting your business and marketing your business, there's so much more to it than that. And your camera doesn't understand all of those elements.
Yeah, perfect. I think that's the whole thing. I think that's the thing we're going to find with all three of you. So it's not so much the actual thing. It's the human being behind it making all of that work. So, Mak, do you get that issue? Do you ever come across this issue where people go, "Well, I've got a mate who does a bit of writing or stuff." It's a bit odd, I suppose, but does that? I mean, I'm guessing, knowing humans, anything's possible.
Actually, people do say, "Oh, I can do it myself. There's nothing. I don't need to hire a professional and things like that." But I'll compare it to going to a Michelin star restaurant and going to let's say a fast food joint. Maybe you'll be served a steak, but at one plate you'll be like, "Okay, this is going to fill me up." But at the other plate, you're going to be wowed. You're going to see the chef technique. You're going to see everything. You're not going to see all the joint. And, when people do their own copy, the thing that they miss out on, it's not necessarily that it's not technically good, but sometimes they don't finesse everything. And probably Vicki will see this, that it's just a photo, and Jody will see it when it comes to promo merchandise, doing it themselves. It looked a little bit like basic, and it's okay for a first attempt, but if you want to get to that next level, which a lot of people do want to get to that next level, then having another set of eyes who can edit things, because that's where all the time get taken up, is it's just beneficial. Even I, as a copywriter, get somebody else to check my work so that the client get the benefit of that extra pair of eyes.
Fantastic.
I think,
Jody, do you? Oh, sorry, Vicki, go ahead.
I was only going to say, it's really hard to be, complimentary about yourself as well. We're all, everybody's pretty modest, and it's hard to. You feel as though you're bragging if you say nice things about yourself. And actually, it's probably much easier if you get somebody, if you've got Mak coming in, he can talk about you more objectively, but he's probably going to be a bit nicer about you than you might be about yourself as well.
You've never
Vicki,
met magicians, have you, Vicki?
I brag about myself all the time.
As I say, Vicki, you've never met magicians. You should see the way some of these guys go. It's been madness. Anyway, that's another story. Jody, yeah. So, I mean, does this ever happen to you? Do you get people that say, "I can do it," or are they always? Are you in that position where, because you are printing onto something that they can't, that you're fairly lucky in that respect?
Yeah, to a degree. I mean, we do get people who they'll get a price and say, "Oh, it's quite expensive." These paper bags, I tell you what, I'll print some stickers and I'll just get some plain ones from Amazon. It's like, you do that if that's okay for you, that's fine, isn't it? And a bit like what Mak was saying, I think it comes back to the perception that you want to do. If you're a crafty kind of business, that's absolutely fine. It's going to look nice, it's going to look homemade, and that's that's authentic for you, that's great. But if you want to go to that next level and you want people to take you seriously, it's just that next step to it looking much more professional. It's the same with the bane of my life at the moment is Canva. People go, "Oh, I've done it, I've created it in Canva, it's great." And it's like, but it's not going to print onto this product properly because it's spot colors, and and have that conversation so regularly with people that it's tricky. But going back to Vicki and the question about people not liking their pitch, because they don't like how they look. I think one of the things with a professional photographer such as Vicki is that Vicki will make you look the very, very best that you could ever look. And also, when I look in the mirror, I see everything that's wrong. I see the fact that I've been sick with my hair because it's a bit kinky on one side and not on the other, and all those sorts of things. I'm pretty certain that you guys haven't been sitting looking at my hair going, "Oh my God, she seems to have straightened her hair on one side better than she straightened it on the other side." And Vicki will know how to bring that out and make you smile and bring that inner whatever it is out of you, just like Mak can do with your words. And that's the difference with using professional, isn't it? We see the worst in ourselves all the time. Yeah.
No one on the recording can see us, but Mak, calm yourself, please, sir. Just calm yourselves. You're right, but calm yourselves, all right? So, Jody, as that was a bit of a question. Actually, what I was going to say is the one thing that jumped immediately to my mind was those guys that have the sticker on the side of their car, or they have the magnet that's that they could have gone and got it properly done, or they could just bought a sticker, slapped it on, and it's at the wrong angle, it's sideways, or it's moved because they've gone around the corner too fast. And it does. I mean, this is what's going to come out of this. I think it all comes down to what image you want to send out to people. I think that's everything. So we've got a question for Jody. What, in your opinion, is the most popular merch item which gets the best return on investment?
I would love to be able to say it's but there is no one item that fits all. Each business is so different. You know, the product that's going to be the best product for a tradesperson is going to be a completely different product to the product that's I don't know, that an insurance broker is giving out to their commercial clients, because tradesperson on the whole wants something that people at home are going to be using, probably more of a low cost thing, because I wouldn't want a tradesperson to give me something that would cost 20 quid, because I'll be thinking, they probably need to put their rates down a bit and stop giving me the really expensive gift. But equally, someone who I'm spending thousands of pounds a year with, I wouldn't really appreciate the, don't know, 50p pen from. I'd expect them to be giving me a Parker pen, or something that's a little bit nicer. So it's just finding the right thing, but things that are really visible and useful and stick around are always going to give you the best return.
Something that keeps your name in there in front of their head. Sorry, Vicki.
I was just saying, it makes you feel special, doesn't it? I think you feel valued, as a client, when you're sent things, it makes you feel really valued, and it makes you feel a bit special. And so nice things make you feel more valued. Absolutely.
And it doesn't have to cost a fortune. It's knowing your customer and giving them that thing that they are, and just hearing things. So I did a post on social media the other day, and someone's like, "Oh, I really love notebooks." She's not a customer, but she's someone who we interact on social media quite often. And I sent her one of my really nice notebooks, and she was just completely beside herself. And I know that means that she's going to be recommending me all the time. And it's just hearing things that aren't necessarily there and just acting on it.
Here's a pitch for Jody's business. What I would say is I heard some marketing guy the other day said that sends out will personalize. I mean, he does chocolate bars, but it doesn't have to be chocolate bars, but he sends out a personalized gift to people that he hasn't been successful getting a booking with. So he sends a personalized thing saying, "Sorry, we couldn't work," and it's a chocolate bar. And they suddenly, and he's had bookings from that, because suddenly someone's thought about something, because it's gone over and above. So it's about finance. It's unexpected. Yeah, fantastic. Mak, it says here you're a legend. I don't know how much you've paid this person to write this for you, but apparently you're a legend, Mak. What would you say is the best way to structure your copy? Bullet out content areas first and then pad out, ?
What the question? Sorry.
What's the best way to structure your copy? I think it's going to be the easiest one.
Okay, so the best way to structure copy depends on the business and what that business, and depends on the end client. But the way how you should structure your copy to try and make sure that it's customer focused and not your ego talking, because there are certain things that a customer wants to see to make sure that they buy from you. And it's not, just think about it like this, it's not copy for your customer, it's selling that confidence that you can do the job. So if you wanted to do some market research and look at your competitors, which is a good thing, don't see what they say, see what they don't say, because a lot of the time I see people forget little details about the process of how they work with someone, or even something significant like how to contact somebody, people forget, or something like who they are, what they stand for, just little things that just separate you from the rest. So I would structure it in a way that appealed to your customer. Sometimes they like lots of writing, sometimes they like lots of detail, sometimes they want just a little bit of detail.
Amazing. Vicki, have you ever had a problem issue where you've never been able to get the right shot for people? Have people been too shy, or just decide they don't want to do it on the day, or
No, not really. I think what people sometimes think when they book photographers, they say, okay, can I book you? And that you just rock up on the day with your camera and, start clicking. And I think in people's heads, often that's the perception of what's going to happen. There's a lot of process that goes on before. So I have conversations with clients, I have forms that I send out that help me understand what images they need, how they're going to be used, what messages they need to say, who they need to say it to, and what they're about. So it's very much about it's representing this sort of authentic you and your business and what you're going to offer. So it's not kind of creating some sort of false persona, but it's really about showcasing. And I think one of the things that people also don't think about with photography, they see it as being quite rock and roll, but actually there's a lot of soft skills. There's a lot about making people feel relaxed. There's a lot about trust. Photography is very much about trust. So how I operate is about making people feel really comfortable, so I can get them looking so they don't look like they've got rabbit in the headlight eyes and a kind of fixed grin. It's about making them look like really natural and approachable, because in order to attract new clients, people have got to see that image and very quickly feel like warm towards you. Your images need to give green lights towards your prospective clients, but the results can be huge. I've had clients who have had thousands of new followers within a week or two of changing their profile picture, who have had more new potential clients come to them in 1 month than they've had in 16 years based on changing profile pictures.
So what was it about their? Yeah, well, sorry, you're probably getting it. What is it about that profile picture?
It's because messages are powerful, and how it works is you've probably all met somebody at some point that you don't know why, but you instinctively don't quite trust them. And you think, oh, call it a gut feeling. I've just got this instinct. I don't know what it is about them, but it's just something I don't quite like. Or people that even before you've had much of a conversation, you feel like that's somebody I want to get to know more. I want to sort of sit and have a drink with them and talk and find out more about them. This is all about the subliminal messages that we put across. And so my job, I hold a camera and I press the shutter. But actually what my job is making sure that I'm creating messages that give people the green light, that make them want to come and get to know you more. And that's how I get people more clients through images. But in order to do that, I need to understand a little bit about who you are and what your business is and who you're trying to appeal to and what you're trying to say. So that's where the process comes in before we start. I could just rock up and take pictures, but they might not be as effective for you for your social media and website if we just, if we do it like that. Whereas how I do it has the potential to get you a lot more business because of it.
Wow, amazing! That's a fantastic answer. So Jody, I think out of the three, the obvious one. So Vicki is obviously creating messages with her, with the photos, and Mak's got putting the copy down, and you've got your promotion. How does your promotional material fit into the customer story and fit into their marketing story going forward? How does that work for them, for your customers?
It's a really good way of them telling a little bit more and showing a little bit more about what they're about. If it's a customer who's got a really strong eco credential, what message would it give if they then gave out some single-use plastic item? It's not good, but they can really strengthen those credentials by giving away a biodegradable travel mug, something like that. So I think it's a really good way because you can hear my dog grunting in the background. Really
I hope that's your dog.
Sorry. So just a really good way of strengthening their everything that they claim to be. They can show that and demonstrate that. If they're saying that they're a top of the range supplier of whatever, and then they're giving out really lovely key rings or pens, whatever, something that's really nice, really lovely notebook. Again, people are just going to go, oh yeah, I knew they were a premium brand, and it's just reaffirming that.
And I guess you shows how much you know them as well. Like they're feeling that you understand them and get them. Like the lady that or the person you sent the notebook to, you're kind of, filling a pain point for them, aren't they? They kind of like love notebooks and they need a notebook, and then suddenly one magically arrives. How great is that?
and they'll be using it hopefully for a long time, and they'll constantly be thinking of you. So it's just keeping it there. So yeah, promotional merchandise is awesome.
Karen's made a comment that she thinks for all us people get so close to their own stuff that they need an objective point of view, whether that's a book, copy, Facebook. Mak, do you get that at any time when people are so close to their subject that when you've written this copy for them, they go, well, that's not quite what I want, because they're too close, they won't let it go? Do you ever get issues around there?
I think, people obviously are proud of their business, and they think, oh, I know everything about my business, and they expect everyone to be on that knowledge level. But sometimes the thing is about our businesses is that when we get too close, the customer is only just looking for what the solution to my problem. So you have to present it to the most basic. Like, forget everything you were taught at school about trying to be flowery and this, that, the other. You've got to present in the most basic way that comes across that you know what you're doing, but you're approachable. And that's where I think people, when they're looking at copy and things like that, they forget that they need to sell themselves to somebody who's going to be approachable, but knows what they're doing and will get the job done.
Yeah.
Amazing. Is there a question for all three of you? Is there a question you wish people would ask you before they took you on board? Is there something you got? Is there something you would always want them to ask, or does it differ per customer?
I think for me, it's not so much about the questions that they are, but it's about people often know they need a photographer, but they don't know what kind of why or how or what that means in real terms. And there isn't easy ways to define photographers. And so people think, well, I know somebody's got a camera, therefore they must be of the same skill as somebody else who has. And I always often think that I wish photographers had to be like Corgi registered or something. So if people had a means of saying, okay, this person, maybe they've invested, they've got skills, as opposed to they've picked up a camera yesterday and have no skills. How do you determine? So people often choose just through recommendations or through price, but they don't necessarily know what the difference could be between what different photographers could give them.
Fantastic. Let's ask the question. For all three of you, what's the most unusual thing you've either been asked to photograph, write copy about, or try and brand? So we'll go. So I've got a feeling I know what one of the answers is. So I'm going to go with Vicki first, and then I'll go to Mak, and then we'll go to what's the most unusual thing you've ever had to photograph?
So I suppose, what have I photographed? I've photographed, I think in some ways, naked personal trainers or people in handcuffs playing with adult toys. Probably that's fairly unusual.
Was that Mak? That wasn't Mak on a day out, was it? just checking.
No, it wasn't Mak, but maybe that's a whole new way for your personal trainer to go, Mak. Who knows?
So
back, have you what's the most unusual bit of copy you've had to write? What do you think?
Unusual bit of copy. Ooh, wow.
Of course, we are talking unusual within Mak's terms now, so this is starting to expand quite beyond.
I mean, what's unusual?
Anything
I've written copy for a funeral parlour before.
Oh, so, really? Okay.
I mean,
yeah.
Make it well. Somebody's got to.
It's got to be done.
It's got to be done, but it's got to be sometimes to make difficult subjects seem a little have a little sparkle of fun in them.
Yeah.
Actually, make them even more serious. So that's a little tip. If you want to make something more poignant, put a little bit of humour in.
There you go. What a fantastic tip. You should have saved that one for the next question. Go on then, Jody. What's the most unusual thing you've been asked to brand?
Who's prepped you on this one?
No one. I'm just guessing. It's just using my own.
It's a bit X-rated for.
Okay.
Yeah. I was asked for a rock band if I could brand something that is more normally found in Alzheimer's. The answer in theory would have been yes, but in practice, because they didn't want millions of them, and the fact that obviously the inks that are used for printing are generally meant for being touched by your hands and things like that. That one didn't come off.
Well, that was probably the problem. It did come off, which was going to cause would have probably caused more of an issue. Yeah, there we go. Gary's viewing figures are now just dropping through the floor as we speak. Right, one last question.
So I thought you'd been primed.
Well, I might have been, but you never know. I'm a magician. I don't reveal my secrets. So one top tip. I need a top tip from each of you about your industry. I'll let Jody calm down for a little bit. We'll go to Mak first. What's one top tip for anyone that needs some copy written, apart from pay Mak to do it, obviously?
Apart from paying me to do it, always research your customers so well that you know that it's like they're talking to a friend. Research them really well and always have them as the number one point of focus. Only talk to one person.
Fantastic. Jody, you got one tip you could pass on?
Quite similar to Mak. Really know who you're giving the merchandise to. So really drill down, because it's not about how many pens you can get for 500 quid. It is absolutely about making that 500 quid go as far as you can make it go by getting the right thing that keeps those customers coming back to you.
Brilliant. And last but certainly not least, Vicki, your top tip for those photographers or people that come into you for their new headshots?
All of us, myself included, actually I need to get some new images taken, is understand the power of the assets that images are. They give a very strong message that can not only attract people to you, but repel people away if the message is wrong. So understand the importance of it. And if you feel nervous about it, or then talk to somebody that can actually about what it's going to be. It could be a much more enjoyable process than you think. And if you see it as something that's like the bottom of your priority list, actually you need to move it up that priority list, because it will, give a massive message. We live in such a visual world. We're saturated with images. Your competition will be investing in their photography. So if you want to be seen, you need to make sure you're giving the right message.
Well, I think we need to give it up big time for our three marketing volunteers or marketing people this afternoon. So with Vicki Head, Jody Fletcher and Mak Mulenga, thank you so much for being here. That was amazing. I knew it was going to be a fantastic session.